Hello, my name is Luna, and you're listening to Infinite Souls, a podcast for that real talk about consciousness, spirituality, and realizing our infinite potential. Mucho, mucho love and light. Hello, Infinite Souls, and the Quantum Inquisitors are here in the house. What is up, everybody? Say hey. I got John and Sifu in the house. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Sifu always gotta be smart with it. Just kidding. I love it. You guys are amazing. For all you guys listening, this is a mini series within the Infinite Souls podcast, and John and Sifu are good friends of mine who I have been blessed to be able to meet in the infinite Ableverse and universe and internet. You know, I love the internet. I get to meet so many cool folks, and these two guys are amazing. So why don't we go ahead and just introduce ourselves so people get to know who we are. And I will not go first. So one of you guys.
Go on, Johnny John.
Johnny John.
Well, there's not much to me, I guess. Just like everybody else. I've always been interested in quantum, the unseen. Always trying to do more trauma work. I think that's been my central focus, is just trying to free myself of trauma. So I live here in Connecticut, so it's not much else.
There's a lot more, but we'll let you off of it for this second.
Yeah, we'll let you start probing. Yeah, we'll start asking questions for sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Sifu?
Oh, okay. So, hello all. My name is Sifu Boggie. Sifu means guide me. Somebody points you along the way, guide you on your path. Boggy is my martial art, my spiritual, and my healing name, and it means the balancer between the chaos and the calmness. And for the last 40 years, I have studied the Taoist arts. The Tao means the way, the path to balance, and I have studied things like Tai Chi, Qigong, Tic Ta, Tui Na, Chinese massage, reflexology, acupressure, many things. And my goal, my mission right now is to help you heal you with the techniques I do. So I've helped myself, I've helped many people with fibromyalgia, chronic pain, IBS, stress, anxiety, migraines, many different ailments and injuries. And my goal is to help you find your own Tao, your own way, your own path. And that's my blurb over. Over to you, Luna.
I love it. I love your blurb. Yes, thank you for your teachings, for helping all of us online. You're really an inspiration. And John, you're much more than just a guy out in Connecticut. You have an expansive brain, and he loves to conversate about all of this consciousness stuff. And very, very deep. He gets very, very deep and opens up a lot of ideas in your mind, you know? So it's infinite. I just wanted to say that. And me, I'm Luna. Most of you guys already are familiar with me. I'm a singer, songwriter, healer, Reiki healer, sound healer, and conscious content creator. I also have an online business, which is a spiritual shop where I make all kinds of creations because I'm an artiste. That's one of the identities I have, I guess. But yeah, that is me. I'm from LA. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. So let's start asking questions to each other. I want to get to know you guys a little bit more and get to pick your brains. So, Johnny John, I'll ask you, what is your purpose?
Honestly, I feel like that's unfolding for me every day. I used to think this was my purpose, and then it's oh wait, I kind of just, I don't know. I feel like it's just something that you don't have really words for. It's just a being, an overall reason that you came here to have an effect on people energetically, and just you kind of just ripple it all out as you go out through your about your day. You know, it's not, for me, it's not anything specific. I feel like I can choose anything in life, and it's not going to matter as much as my overall purpose for being here, just to be a conduit and just continue to help raise the frequency of the planet. You know, so I think it takes all of us, really, you know.
Mhm. So you think that that's the purpose of life? The purpose of life. What do you think the purpose of life is? To us help each other raise the frequency?
Yeah, heart to heart. Like honestly, I think for me, being human is like just heart to heart connection. Like I think the purpose is to just have a life where you have enjoyment. You know, I think more simple it is because we keep complicating things. But I think at the beginning of it all, it was supposed to just be meant to enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Find passions. Find ways of expressing yourself creatively in any way that you choose. You know. But
Yeah.
yeah.
What about you, Sifu? Just existing, I think.
What's the purpose of life? I think, well, not that this is a matrix or a simulation. I think this is an educational tool. It's more like a learning game. It is a game, but I think it's a learning game. I think the whole point is to learn and expand. And I mean, when my Sifu, like, I was 12 years old when 11, 12 years old when my Sifu said, I have met you many lifetimes. You have been my Sifu and I have been yours. It's my turn to be yours again. I went, yeah, that makes perfect sense. You know, it doesn't sound crazy at all. And the whole idea, and like when I read about the ancient story of there's a little difference between soul and consciousness. We can pick all that another time, but I use the word consciousness. That our consciousness, our individual consciousness, the you that makes John, the you that makes Luna, that inside this body is so big that it expands the whole universe. That it's huge, it's massive. And so in this body, your mission is to expand your consciousness or open back to that side of that consciousness. So the whole point of the stuff I do, the qigongs and whatnot, is to expand. I've got to look him up. There's an awesome American philosopher who talks about expanding your awareness, expands your consciousness, which expands your perception of reality. So the more you learn, the more that you grow, and the more you expand. And when like people say, you've got so many techniques under your belt, you've got so many things. And I came from my Sifu's very much believed everything you learn enhances everything else you do, and everything you learn helps you grow and flow. But hey, what do I know?
Yeah. Well, we consciousness, right? And consciousness is ever expanding.
Exactly.
Consciousness is infinite, I think, right?
Always trying to expand.
It's infinite. It's always expanding.
Well, okay. I'm going to throw this out here. I'm going to be a bit of a devil's advocate because that's one of my things. So a lot of people use the word soul. Soul is Latin. It comes from solion, which means body of breath. And it actually is indicating trapped that you're only alive in your body of breath while you're alive, while you're breathing. And so it was almost that to be, or you have to reincarnate back onto Earth because you can only live on Earth. You're trapped in the body of breath, the soul. That's why I use the word consciousness, because when you look at other definitions, they were saying, no, we are formless, shapeless energy, that our consciousness has no true form. That's why, we can be a rock, we can be a tree, we can be a planet, we can be a sun, we can be a cell of, we can be an atom, we can be all these things because we are actually formless and shapeless. So I prefer the word consciousness over soul because, but then again, a word only means what you say it means. So, you can change its meaning.
Yeah, definitely. That, about words, I love words. I'm a songwriter, so I read a lot. So when you were talking about the word, how it came from Latin, so I was thinking, okay, in Spanish, the word for soul is alma. And so I looked up what alma means. The root word is also, it comes from Latin, with the alam. And it means nourishing. So So that's interesting, you know, because we nourish the body, right? We nourish, and we also talk about nourishing the soul. Like we can nourish the soul in a way. So nourishment to me is like being alive, thriving, actually living like alive, just being alive, you know, the vibration of life. It's for me, but life is a vibration. It's like it's just, yeah, that's what it is. I can't explain it any other way. That's how I feel it, you know. And
Well, you know, you said you're a songwriter. We actually have to redefine that. You are a very awesome, very beautiful sounding song singer and songwriter. Let's just put it out there. I'm just saying, like, but it's that thing of you know, like, you know, the things you're passionate about also sort of shape the way you see things. Because there's a thing called NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and one of the things, if you, so for a songwriter, I would say listen to this concept. How does that sound to you? So I would use those certain words to, and it goes that other way, is that you resonate more with vibration and sound because of certain things. Now, John, he's actually one of the things that, you know, it's, oh, I'm only this. You're a full-time dad. You are a full-time freaking philosopher. I've heard the concept. I mean, that you know, most people I know who talk like you do have been on a mountain for 30 freaking years. You are a micro grower and you have a full-time job. Are you freaking Doctor Who or what? You know, how are you folding all that into this reality? You know, we're talking about consciousness, time, and stuff. You do a freaking lot. You are more than you make out, mister. Well, I'm just saying.
I've tried to make my life as chaotic as possible in a more unconscious state of being in my earlier years. And I've had to learn that the chaos is the only place I can master myself, because it forces every bit of darkness, every bit of anything you have not looked at. You're going to have to, if you want to remain in balance, if you just keep piling on the responsibilities.
Yeah, there's order in chaos, you know. It looks like chaos, but it really isn't. I love that. Yeah, but being a full-time dad is no fucking joke, dude. Like, come on. I've seen those videos with where you have your kids with you. It is, you are living in chaos in a way, you know. Because kids can be chaotic. They're learning, they're stumbling, they're falling, and you get to see all of this unfold, and you get to do your own learning process, and you're healing your inner child by, you know, raising these kids.
I might actually have to start calling you John Boggy, because that's what Boggy means. Boggy means the balancer between the chaos and the calmness. That's its actual. It was a title given to me. My first title is my daughter's second name, which is Taiso or Taiso. And Taiso means, well, it means supreme lower chaos or big trouble. So I'm big trouble, and so is my daughter. But you'll definitely have the essence of that chaos and that calmness. You, John, you know, you definitely, you know, balance things off. So, you know, that's why I find it very funny. When you know, oh yeah, there's not really that much about me. You know, my name's John, and I'm just here trying to figure out my path. Freaking hell! How much path have you got, dude? So, all good. It's all good.
All your darkness too, so it keeps you very humble. It definitely does. I feel like if I was off in a cave somewhere, I wouldn't have mastered myself by now, and my ego would probably be like this big, you know, because it really humbles you to make the mistakes and to do all these things, and just it's a constant learning experience. Yeah, and my children are definitely my biggest teachers for sure. I don't know what I'd do without them, no matter how much they cause me grief. They're my greatest blessing. Yeah.
Oh, cute babies. Yeah, man. I don't have any kids, but I helped raise my goddaughter when she was born. My sister lived with us, and she had like postpartum depression. So me and my mom like helped a lot. And so it's definitely, it's you learn something new every single day. And it's so freaking insane. It's so crazy. And I love to watch kids because they are in a different brain wave state than we are. they're like in theta, I think, which is like when you're in like the dream stage, right? In the dream state. And then when they get older, they go to eventually I think they end up in delta, but oh, I'm sorry, my thing is running out here of time. But eventually they go up to these other brainwaves where they're more conscious, but they're basically like dreaming, like that's why they see things that are not there. Like when they're little, you'll see them like looking around and stuff like that. So I think that's super, super interesting. What do you?
Some people call that God consciousness, you're still in that brainwave frequency where you're still connected to source in much more than, I feel like after 7 years old, we kind of disconnect ourselves, because that's when all the programming starts to like take effect into our behavior patterns and whatnot,
Yeah, for sure.
And,
So
and the thing of the pineal gland. So the pineal gland, they were doing case studies with the MRI scans back in the 90s, and the pineal gland was picking up infrared and ultraviolet. Now they didn't actually do they didn't officially do children case studies, but there is this thing that there's something that happens in the that we can actually see infrared and ultraviolet. And we can actually even pick up the magnetic field, like the North Pole, like birds, and we actually have that capability, but there's something in the brain that's blocking it. And there was suspect that is something to do with teenage, that in the teenage years, that something happens that actually blocks that information. But so like that thing of like when we talk about fairies and whatnot, is that eyes pick up infrared and ultraviolet. If you ever have a spare bit of cash, go and get a ghost camera. There's it's a or for the next episode I'll actually have a proper name, but there's a ghost camera which actually looks at infrared and ultraviolet, and you do it in the daytime, and there's weird shit flying around in the sky. Not just you have like machines, but actually creatures flying in the sky. There's weird things that we can't see that are there. So this is interesting when kids saying, like, oh, I can see this, or I talk to this person, and we turn around and say, don't talk to imaginary people because people will think you're crazy. And it's like, hold up, but we go to see a psychic who's talking to, what we can't see, but we tell our kids off for doing it. Our kids are, the Taoists would say they're closest to the Tao, they're closest to that God source, so they still have those abilities. But becoming adulthood, a lot of those get turned off because we get, sort of scared into, oh, don't do this, don't do that, or you have to be there, even to that point where we're told off of fidgeting. And actually, fidgeting is actually really good for the human body, because it actually relieves stress and tension. So that whole idea of actually moving about fidgeting actually relieves tension within the body. And we're told off as kids to sit still, stand up straight, and then wonder why in our 20s, 30s, and 40s we have all this stiffness and achy, and feel 100 years old. But hey, what do I know?
I think that what happens to us is trauma, to be honest. I think that everybody not inherits trauma, but as a whole, we all go through that. That's how we learn. But because I remember when I was a kid, I don't have a lot of memories when I was a kid, and that happened because of trauma that I had. I put a mental block, and it was after that age, I think I was like 4 or 5 years old, but I don't remember much of my childhood, and before that, I don't remember anything at all. So that traumatic memory is one of the earliest memories that I have of my childhood. And so you do put mental blocks on your own to protect yourself. There are protection mechanisms that you do psychologically. And so I think that that's what happens to most of us. But I know what you're talking about the birds that can detect the electromagnetic field, and that's how they guide themselves, right? So it comes from a crystal, and this crystal, I think it's called, it's something like hematite, but it's not hematite. It's that in that family, but it's kind of metallic in a sense. And that crystal is actually found in the pineal gland. And when you meditate and you bring up those spinal fluids, it activates those crystals, and that's what allows you to transcend time and space. And so that is your inner guidance system too. So it makes sense that it would be there, and birds use it for guidance. You know what I mean? So that's super, super cool. My Zoom meeting actually is running out of time, so I'm trying to upgrade here, but we can continue talking. So, so
I,
go ahead.
well, I was going to actually ask you, Luna. So, you know, I know you have a great passion for like music, like songwriting and music. And when did that start for you? And is that a healing thing for you?
Doing music definitely is healing for me. I started doing music. Well, I started singing when I was very, very young. So I was talking about this on Ibo earlier, but I don't know if people probably have not seen the episode, but so when I was a little girl, my family has like memories of me singing in the car seat in the back of my aunt's van. And I don't know, like it's when you first start to speak. What is that, like 4 years old or something, or 3, or you would know, John. So that was the
Well,
age.
like 2 or 3. Yeah, maybe 2.
Okay, so 2 or 3. So that was the age that I was singing, and I was making up songs, and I was singing in Spanish because Spanish was my first language, because my mom only spoke Spanish to me when I was young. But anyway, so I was singing and making up songs as a little girl. And I always sang my whole life, always sang by myself in the shower, in front of the mirror, just, and I did have, I had a stepbrother who would not make fun of my singing, but he would tell me to shut up. And I get it, like, okay, it could be annoying to hear a kid singing all day. But that caused some trauma for me with my self-confidence. So I wasn't able to sing in front of people. I was very scared of that. And then in high school, I was in choir. So that pushed me out of my comfort zone. We traveled to sing at different high schools that were special needs schools, and we sang at the Disney Concert Hall. I got to sing for my graduation as a soloist. And so after that, I tried out for American Idol. I tried out for a school in Hollywood that was a singing school. And both of those experiences, they also created some type of trauma or resistance within me, because the music industry really, I was disillusioned by it. Like I was like let down kind of by the industry, seeing that they didn't really care a lot about talented artists. They really just cared about making money and entertainment. And so that, plus me not being confident, I gave up music. I didn't sing or write a song for like 8 years. And then in 2015, I started singing like on just like by myself, like on my phone. There was this app that was singing app. And then in 2019, I decided that no, it was not 2019, 2017, 2018. I decided that I was going to write an album, an EP, and that was going to be a healing experience for me. because I was gonna write what I was feeling. Writing songs, writing an album is very personal, and it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of tears, a lot of energy, emotions.